this hour, TRUX. If you're in business or you just need a basic commercially based, commercially designed vehicle, they've got them at Work Trucks. This is what they do. And they do it well. They go out and find the best of these. Generally, these are off lease, which means they're going to be well taken care of. You got to turn them in at the end of the lease. So those are gingerly used in the business, in industry. And these aren't all marked up and covered in wraps and all this stuff. These are used really by larger corporations, and then they find them with low miles on them, bring them back here to Birmingham, go through 125 different points, have to pass or have to be fixed or upgraded or made whole before they'll put one on the lot. It's their standard. And then once that thing hits the lot, it looks like a new truck dealership. You ride past there, it looks like a brand new, all that base commercial white, all these configurations. But these things are less expensive because they've been pre-owned and they've got great backgrounds. Bubba and the team down there offer extended warranties and financing if you want that as well. It's Work Trucks, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com. They're downtown on 3rd Avenue South. You can ride down there if you want, or you can see some of the inventory online. If you need a box truck or flatbed or any pickup, any variety of pickup or van, cargo and passenger, they've got them down there. And look online if you want, or get down there and see them and cut a deal and get yourself a fine running truck and take care of business in 2026. All the indicators are this is going to be a really good year, barring any kind of calamity or catastrophe in the news or in the world. Everything is pointed to a year where things start to feel normal again after a huge year of transition. So maybe if you're ready to invest more in your business or go out on your own, start your own thing, it's Work Trucks, TRUX, WorkTrucksLLC.com. Okay, all right, let's do it. Trump, I see this live camera that's set up on a news conference type deal that's about to happen between Trump and Hegseth. Now, not to overhype it, they're saying they're going to make a huge announcement. We believe what that announcement is a new investment in shipbuilding for the United States military. And guess what they are calling the new ships, AJ? I'm going to give you one, not even three guesses, one guess as to who the ships will be named after.
Trump.
You're the winner.
To go along with the F-47s?
Yes, we need to get all the Trump references we can, and all of that will get reversed the next time the Democrats are in the White House. But the idea is they would call them the Trump class of Navy ships. It's a whole new shipbuilding campaign, different design ships, more modern, ready for the new world that we're facing. Apparently all that's going to get announced.
Are they going to be huge?
They're going to be massive, huge, and they're going to paint them all orange.
I thought they're going to be gold.
Yep, orange and gold.
Okay.
Yep. They are calling it the Golden Fleet, though.
See?
Not making that up. Yep. Not making it up. They'll be the finest ships in the world. They'll have casinos on them. The guys don't even have to go on shore leave. It'll all be right there on the ship. Beauty contests, hotels, gambling, beauty contests. You got to rethink the military nowadays.
Right.
But at least everybody on the ship will be straight and normal people.
It will boost morale, though.
Yeah,
definitely.
Damn right it would. It's like get on the Biden Navy with all those trainees in pencil skirts telling you how to act.
Yeah, it just goes in circles and doesn't even know, has no destination.
Oh man, yeah, it's so they're going to have that announcement here in a little bit, and we think what will also come of it is maybe some more details on all these naval operations because we've got a lot of Navy in the news nowadays. Down off the shore of Venezuela, we've got them surrounded. We've announced a blockade of their oil industry, and we are chasing what we believe is a third oil tanker that we're going to seize and take off offline and keep them from being able to profit from their illegal oil sales. All of this, by the way, guaranteed by a court that's approved the warrants for us to go get the ships. We're just actually doing it. So I'm sure there are going to be questions about that. You think they'll ask any Epstein file questions? I don't know that Trump has been public. Has he done any news conferences since all the Epstein stuff came out? Of course, he's not in there. Bubba Clinton is, though. Didn't Bubba come out and do a talk show somewhere? Didn't he go to a friendly somewhere and go, hey, look, I used to like to have a good time. What can I say?
I mean, this is before he got busted, right?
Who doesn't like a hot tub?
Have you seen Hillary?
That story did exactly what I told y'all it was going to do. It came out It was all about Bubba, and it got memory hold all weekend long. They put it out on a Friday. Nobody wants to talk about it today because it didn't look good for the people that were demanding that it be out. How about this? I keep seeing this story pop up. Let's talk about the movies for a few minutes. Now that we're going a little bit light today because outside the two things I just mentioned, the Trump announcement and the Venezuelan standoff, it has been it's good. We need some breathing room with nonstop news nowadays and negativity. But it's been a slow news day, and that's typical for this time of the year, and I'll deal with it. It's not good for show content, but we make up our own as we go. And one of those things is, the movie industry, as it gets colder weather, we start to turn our attention toward. I think movie attendance is big in the summer. It happens a lot during the holidays, which is why you have these releases. But apparently, this new animated series about David, and I'm just now catching up on season 2 of House of David. I was a little late to the party on the season 2 of that. That's really well done, and the Irwin brothers produced that, which is I'm always happy to see them have success. But there's an animated David that's out, and it is doing extremely well at the box office. And I guess you see that as a positive sign. People are saying it's beating a bunch of other animated movies because they generally compare those two. But somebody also pointed out today, I think it was the Daily Mail, that it also beat like some Sydney Sweeney movie that's out right now where she's butt naked.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, ooh, it beat you mean the Bible beat a butt naked Sydney Sweeney, and we're supposed to celebrate that, I guess. I mean, who hadn't seen Sydney Sweeney by now? Come on, good. This is a good thing. But then I saw a trailer. I know you're a Christopher Nolan fan, aren't you? Because you like they're doing the Odyssey now. They're doing Homer's The Odyssey. Saw a trailer today, and part of me loves it. Part of me thought it looks like Batman meets Gladiator. It looks like Batman. I'm sorry, it looks like Batman.
Yeah.
This dude's wearing a black armor with that mohawk thing on top, which they did not wear in those days.
Are you talking about like with Bang? So
yeah,
are part of the Odyssey.
It's gonna be It's gonna be Batman on the water. I'm telling you. But I'm gonna watch it. I'm excited about it. Doesn't come out until July, but the trailer's everywhere.
This is not the Odyssey.
I just want to go home. That's the whole thing with the Odyssey. Can I please go home?
Why no? You may not go home.
Do you feel like you're going home? I love Tom Hardy, by the way.
But that was just a horrible bang.
Yeah, it was.
That was bad.
Yep. Well, still. And so you got Christopher Nolan proponents and detractors that are already trashing the film, and all they've seen is this. The thing is, he doesn't like CG. Apparently, he doesn't, and which I like that because I hate CG. It's ruining movies. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel real anymore because it's not. And so they have to actually do the stunts and do the tactical or tactile things to make the film look good. And I think that makes a better presentation, but we'll see how it comes out. I will be in the not much can get me to the theaters. I'll go see this for sure. Just for the controversy.
Right.
You want to go? You want to
I'll check it out.
Get a bunch of folks and go see a bro movie?
I'm trying to think. Did I remember watching Odyssey? I think I remember from back in the day. Is it the same one with the Medusa and the Pegasus?
It's Homer, man. It's they make you read it in high school.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And by the way, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou is a total Odyssey allegory. By the way, it's the allegory.
Okay.
The sirens, come on, it's all in there.
Yeah.
If you understand that, read some Homer, go watch that. You'll laugh your tail off, and then you got to watch Christopher Nolan. Okay, I see Trump now. He's on our screen talking about the new Trump class of battleships. Here we go.
Industry and inspire fear in America's enemies all over the world. We want respect. We're going to have it. We already have it. We're more respected now than we ever were. A year and a half ago, they laughed at us. Now they respect us again at levels that they've never respected us. We envision that these two ships, we're talking about 10, but we're going to start with 2, and we're going to quickly morph into 10. And ultimately, we think it's going to be anywhere from 20 to 25 of these. But we're starting with the first 2 immediately, and we're going to then be very quickly involved with, I think, we're going to do another 8. And then we're going to ultimately and pretty quickly have a total of about 20 to 25. We'll make that determination. We envision that these ships will be the first of a whole new class of battleships to be produced in the years to come. From Theodore Roosevelt, the Great White Fleet, you remember that, the Great White Fleet, to the legendary USS Missouri, whose massive guns helped win World War II. America's battleships have always been unmistakable symbols of national power. We stopped making them for whatever reason, I don't know. And I want to congratulate John Thalen, who is your Secretary of the Navy. He came to me the first day we met. He talked about battleships, and I said, "You're absolutely on the right track." He said, "Why are we doing other things? We have missiles, which are much more expensive." By the way, these battleships have tremendous numbers of missiles, but they also have guns. And in many ways, guns can do the trick just as well as missiles at a tiny fraction of the cost. Once completed, these new 30 to 40,000 ton plus vessels will be the flagships of the American naval fleet, and there has never been anything built like them. And I just want to be very clear that we're building them here. We're working with others, but we're building them here. We have great Navy yards. We'll be negotiating with some of the companies that are running those yards, taking over the yards. We used to build a ship a day during World War II. Now we don't do ships very much anymore. We do military ships, we do submarines. By the way, we're 15 to 20 years advanced in our submarines over anybody else. That was one of the things that I did in my first term. We make the best submarines by far in the world. We're at least 15 years advanced ahead of anybody else in submarine development. Most powerful, that's right, the most powerful weapon anywhere in the world, undetectable. So the battleships are going to be armed just in terms of guns and missiles at the highest level. They'll also have hypersonic weapons, many hypersonic weapons, state-of-the-art electric rail guns, and even the high-powered lasers that you've been starting to read about. We have lasers where you aim the laser at a target, it just wipes it out. We're going to have, they'll be the most sophisticated lasers in the world, and the most sophisticated laser in the world will be on the battleships that we're building. They'll also carry the nuclear armed, sea-launched cruise missiles currently under development, which will be instituted pretty quickly, but they're under development, and they've proven to be extremely lethal. The U.S. Navy will lead the design of these ships along with me, because I'm a very aesthetic person, alongside our partners in American industry. And we're going to have Pete Hegseth and Marco and a lot of very talented people involved, but a lot of it's already been done. We've been doing this for months. The construction will create thousands of American jobs. We're going to have the jobs be created. I mean, already we have factories being built unrelated to this, although AI will be a big factor when it comes to these ships. They'll be very AI controlled. Today's announcement is yet another step in our mission to make the United States Navy stronger than ever before. Again, when you talk about 100 times the power of these massive ships that we had years ago, it's pretty amazing. And next week, I'm going to meet with the defense prime contractors. I'm going to meet with them here, Florida. And we're going to be talking about production schedules because they're too slow. We have many countries, allies, that are wanting to buy. We make the greatest equipment in the world by far. Nobody's even close, but they don't produce them fast enough. So we're going to be meeting with them to talk about the production schedules. We're going to have strong production schedules. And the only way they're going to be able to do that is to build new plants. Even with the F-35, we have many people want the F-35 fighter jet, and it takes too long to deliver them to allies or to ourselves. It takes too long. The only way they're going to be able to deliver them is if they build new plants. They don't want to build new plants because that's expensive. So we're going to be discussing production schedules. We're going to be discussing CapEx spending. We'll be discussing the pay to executives where they're making $45 and $50 million a year and not being able to build quickly. They're going to make that kind of money. They have to build quickly. Again, we make the best equipment in the world, but they don't make them fast enough. And we're going to be also discussing dividends. We want the dividends to go into the creation of production facilities. So we'll be talking about all CapEx, dividends, and the pay. We're also going to be talking about buybacks. They spend so much money on buybacks. They want to buy back their stock. I don't want them to buy back their stock. I want them to put the money in plant and equipment so they can build these planes fast, rapidly, like immediately. I mean, I have sold more planes than any president by far, times probably 20. So every time I go someplace, I sell 100 planes. That includes commercial planes, Boeings, et cetera, but it also includes fighter jets. And I'm always having to say 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, helicopters, Apache helicopters, many years. India bought them. They want to get them. They don't want to wait a long time. So we don't want to have executives making $50 million a year, issuing big dividends to everybody, and also doing buybacks. And then they say, well, we don't have the money to build a plant. They got to build plants. Plants to make F-35s, plants to make helicopters, plants to make the F-47 new jet. And that's it. And that's what I'm going to be talking to them about. They're going to start spending money on building airplanes and ships and the things that we need, not in 10 years and 15 years. We need them now. And we're strong about it. Last week, the Navy announced a brand new class of frigate, and they're going to be working with a South Korean company. Hanwha, a good company, recently agreed to invest $5 billion in Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. We're opening up the Philadelphia Shipyard, once a great yard. Now it was a long time ago decommissioned, but now it's reopening. Working with the Navy and working with private companies. The record-setting defense bill I signed last week authorized $26 billion to build new ships, including destroyers and various others. We already have a lot of submarines, as you know, under construction. We're building a lot of submarines. I tell you, to be exact, we have right now 15 submarines under construction or ready to start. And we have, again, the greatest submarine in the world with our technology, like they talk about chips. Well, I would say submarines are a bigger deal than chips. We're at least 15 years ahead of any other competitor. China, Russia, nobody can come close. We're also building right now 3 large aircraft carriers in addition to the ones we have. And we have, actually, interestingly, we have a lot of submarines. How many submarines do we have now altogether, approximately? Huh? What?
Over 30.
We have over 30. But these are the super duper subs, and there's nothing like them. So we're going to be doing from 12 to 15 brand new submarines. We have a couple of other things going on. We'll be building other elements of Navy. We'll be fixing up headquarters. We'll be fixing up places for our great sailors to live. And we're going to be working very hard with companies, but we're also going to be penalizing companies that aren't doing a good job. For instance, when they built the Ford, Gerald Ford, the cost overruns were ridiculous. That was done in Norfolk, Virginia. We're going to be talking about that with that company. The cost overruns were out of control. In World War II, the United States built upwards of 4 ships per day. Can you believe it? 4 ships a day, on average. And now there weren't all big warships, but there were ships, freighters, tankers. And it's a tragedy that we allowed this incredible capability to just go astray. We don't do that much anymore. We do build our warships, but that's about it. But that's a lot. We're going to restore America as a major shipbuilding power. We're going to ensure the USA is the most powerful fleet anywhere in the world. And long into the future, with battleships helping lead the way, and the submarines that, again, nobody competes with us on submarines. So I just want to thank everybody, and I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words, followed by the Secretary, but if you would, Secretary of the Navy. But Pete's doing a fantastic job. By the way, we have drugs are down 96.2% coming into the United States, 92.6 by sea. And soon we'll be starting the same program on land. The land is much easier. But every one of those boats that we knocked out saved 25,000 lives. So we saved 25,000 lives every time we knock out one of those boats with the drugs pouring in. And you just have to see it. I mean, people say, oh, gee, do you think it was really drugs? Well, just take a look. Bags all over the place. That's not fishing equipment. There's no fishing rods on those boats. They move fast. When you see a boat with 4 engines or 5 engines on, going 40, 50 miles an hour, well, they get hit. We save 25,000 lives every single time we knock out a boat, and it's over 96% stopped by sea. We're trying to figure out who the other 4% are, frankly. And we're going to have the same success, but even quicker, because it's much easier on land. If they want to come by land, they're going to end up having a big problem. They're going to get blown to pieces because we don't want our people poisoned. 300,000 people died, probably last year, 300,000. A lot of people say it was 200. Somebody said last night, it was only 175,000 people. That's like 3 stadiums, big football stadiums filled up with people died. But I think the real number is 300,000. We're not going to have that anymore. So we're doing a great job, and we enjoy doing it. Our border is secure. Our country is strong. Trillions of dollars is coming into our country from other countries and companies. They're building factories and plants, including auto plants, all over the United States of America. Without tariffs, they wouldn't be doing anything, although they were very happy with the November 5th election. But it's only because they want to avoid paying tariffs that they're all coming in. And again, the biggest number was $3 trillion in history. That was China many years ago. Now it's $18 trillion, and that's just in 10 months. We think we could hit $20 trillion. That's investment in the United States, including plant and equipment. So thank you very much, and I'll ask Pete to say a few words, and then John. And if you have any questions, we'll take them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the President of the United States making an announcement. He's going to build 25 ships, 30,000 tons.
All right, I heard some anchor talking over my president. What's going on right there? So they went to Pete Hegseth and dipped. I suppose we're going to go back to that as they get to the Q&A portion of this. They are set up to take questions this afternoon. So, yeah. Did you want to hear Hegseth, AJ? Because I'm good without it. So he did announce what are going to be the biggest battleships in the world, and it was time to modernize the fleet. They're going to call them the Trump class of battleships. And as we said, they'll have casinos, full golf courses. Navy's going to love it.
Well, the old school board game Battleship now is going to be called Trump class of Battleship.
And they will blow everything out of the water if it moves.
Right. Oh, there's a little drug boat. Boom.
I just blew up your drug boat. We need to redo that whole game just for this. We absolutely do. Y'all, Allen and Company, big sponsor of the show. I meant to swing by there today. Jessica has a chain that they fixed just overnight. I don't know how they did it so fast. One that I had gotten from there, but it had a break, and they fixed it right away. And then sent us these nice holiday gifts. How nice is that? A little cheer for the holiday. Thank you to the Thompson family and for Alan, all these years of being partners with us here on the radio and taking care of this audience with your custom work. When it comes to jewelry, having a real expert that can do that custom work, that can do the weird, even you may have something weird or unique, or you need something etched or something that only suits you to or the person you're giving it to. It's nice to have that creativity and ability with all the talent that Alan has over there at Allen and Company. Look, their diamond prices are like everybody's diamond prices. Most of these stores in the world operate on a giant consignment system. They've all got these diamonds in the house. What you get there is the personal touch, the custom work, especially with repairs, upgrades, or anything like that. Hey, fellas, she's put up with you a long time. It might be time to upgrade that diamond. Maybe you can tell her you're going to do that for Christmas, and y'all spend some time working on that and get that engagement setting to where it's worthy of her patience. Allen and his team can do that for you. It's Allen and Company over in Vestavia. Y'all go see them. Allen and Company. They're on the car wash Chick-fil-A side of 31 in Vestavia. Allen and Company. Little Christmas music for y'all tonight as we chug along here on this slow news day. We just did the Trump news conference. If that turns into anything, or we get some hot Q&A or some answer, especially with this Venezuelan stuff, we'll go back to that live or play the clips for you and let you know what's going on. We're not going to miss anything. Just kind of a slow news day today. Michelson Laser Vision, by the way, bringing you the show tonight. Dr. Mark Michelson and Dr. Jennifer Michelson, his daughter. I started counting the other day how many 2 or 3 generation businesses we have where you've got multiple generations that are upholding the family name. Boy, it just keeps going. I mean, I think the oldest is probably Lonnius. They're at 5 generations. John will correct me on that. That's amazing. You get 2 generations deep. You hear a lot of business owners, they work hard, get their name out there, build that brand, build that customer loyalty, want to hand it off to the offspring. They don't want anything to do with it nowadays. But the companies that have their whole family standing behind what the family does is part of what built this country. It really was what made it great. And I think Michelson falls in that category. Dr. Mark was the pioneer with the laser years ago, and his daughter Jennifer told me one time that's all she's ever wanted to do was do what her dad did. So she grew up watching him do these miraculous surgeries and help people see better. Went off to some of the finest surgical schools and came back and is doing the surgeries with her dad every single day to carry that mission on. And it's nice to know Birmingham has one of the most cutting-edge places in the country, if not the world, with the latest technology and ability to treat and help you see better. It's been a miracle for me. Maybe it's something you want to gift somebody for Christmas. I mean, you can reach out to them. Maybe they do gift certificates. Not sure how that works. But, and of course, they need to get medically cleared to do it. So it's all about that consult. But you send them down there, and if they're medically eligible, you tell them, hey, we're going to sponsor your surgery. We want you to be able to see better. That's a gift that will last years, and they'll appreciate every day that they open their eyes. That is a fact. It is Michelson Laser Vision, Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jennifer Michelson, downtown UAB Highlands, MichelsonLaserVision.com. All right. Man, we're just bouncing around looking at all the other things in the news today. Let me turn into sports for just a minute. I don't want to make it a sports show, but we got a sort of a breaking story. Have you lived in Kansas City? I know Andrew's got family there.
Andrew has family in Kansas City. I've lived in St. Louis. It's
That's
about
right.
4 or 5 hours away from
a lot of
Kansas
those.
City,
Some of those Midwestern cities kind of blur together for me, even though I've been through all of them. I did the show there years ago, and you could see the stadium from where I did the show, and it was fun because Andrew's sister came out and was just sitting there. AJ, she was staring at me. I don't know if you remember this show.
I remember that because she got on there and told us his name, his wrestling name.
She talked about this kid was sitting over here staring at me, and I'm like, who is this woman? And she came up and introduced herself during one of the breaks. I said, you got to go on the radio. And she dished all over my boy.
Mm-hmm. Captain Charisma.
Captain Charisma was his Andrew's wrestling name. But anyway, that's where a lot of his family. Well, they got one of these kind of shocking stories like Chicago got the other day. Apparently, the Chiefs are moving out of the Missouri part of Kansas, and they're moving over into the state of Kansas toward Lawrence, I guess. Because when I was there for that trip, for that stop, we actually stayed in Lawrence. You can't really – there's not a lot of RV campgrounds right there in the middle of the city. And Lawrence was on our way out, and we actually had to pause the trip. You remember that I had to fly to Boston?
Mm-hmm.
My son was graduating and fly back. And so we got to know the area pretty good. And so I don't know what the local politics of that are, but they're moving out of the state of Missouri and over to Kansas. Is that just going to continue to confuse people? Some people don't realize Kansas is in 2 states.
Yeah, I think by this time, I don't think as long as they're not like out of Kansas, right? Because prime example, you got the Cowboys, right?
Right, that out to Arlington.
Yeah, they're in Arlington, Texas, which is in a different county.
And we call it the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
Same thing. And I've been to that stadium years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Chicago, and I haven't been able to follow up on this, but they announced, I think they made it formal. They're moving out. The Bears are moving out of Chicago down to Gary, Indiana. What?
Well, wow.
That's the thing. I mean, the mayor's fighting with them. He's saying he don't know what he can do wrong. Look, they've had enough.
Wait a minute.
You got all these teams moving around. Aren't there some LA stuff going on right now too with these football teams?
Yeah. So
Oakland
is moving. Oakland. Well, they already lost the football team. But then now they're about to lose the baseball team because they're building a big stadium right there in Las Vegas. I'm I'm surprised about this story about the Bears because, I mean, now that is a shock. I'm more shocked with that one
The
than I am
Bears.
with the Kansas because I'm like, Gary, Indiana, yes, it's just across the border. I mean, you can literally look and see Gary, Indiana, but it's Gary, Indiana. If you're talking about a place that's scary and sketchy, and you're talking about safety concerns,
Yeah.
Gary, Indiana is not the place you move
It's
to.
the butthole of the country. When the world gets an enema, they're going to stick it in Gary is what I understand.
saying,
I've never
like,
been there.
Yeah, I don't see why they. I mean, maybe they're thinking about because everything is so cheap.
Is it really?
Yeah, outside of Michael Jackson's childhood home.
Is that in Gary, Indiana?
Yeah, that's in Gary,
I had
Indiana.
no idea. Well, I don't think they've made it formal, but they've all but told the mayor they're doing it. They hadn't made the public announcement. Maybe they're just fighting for leverage, but Gary's ready to go. They're like, bring on the Bears. So you're right. A lot of these teams don't live where their name represents that they. And then, of course, in Atlanta, they moved the Braves pretty much out of the city up to the northern suburbs. So that's a trend. Here's what I'm saying with all this stuff is for years, everybody wanted Birmingham to get a professional sports team. And I guess you could count the Stallions because they've had huge success here and new coach and all that stuff now. And they're apparently going to be here this season. But, you know, I think some cities overdo it with these commitments, these incentives and out just handing money to these franchises. I don't know that cities really get back the benefit of having these teams like they used to. I don't think it's as prestigious as it used to be.
I agree because you got to think about it. All right, growing up, you had the WGN superstations that were all over.
Yep.
And pretty much you got a chance to either watch the Bears play, watch the Cubs play, and watch the Bulls play. And a lot of folks became fans of these teams because of
I saw Cub games all the time growing up because WGN. It was I saw Cubs and Braves. Same thing with the Braves. And for the Cardinals, they got out there because of Clear Channel Radio at night.
right.
The signal would go throughout the Southeast, so there were a lot on the baseball side. There were a lot of St. Louis Cardinal fans down in southern United States because they could listen to the games at night. So you're right about that.
Yeah. And then the thrill of going to the stadiums, you know, it used to be a tradition. Now you go there. Don't get me wrong. There are hit or misses when you go to stadiums. I mean, like I just took my son to one of the Alabama, Arizona at the Legacy Arena. It's a great venue, but then you go there, try to find parking. It's a nightmare.
Yes, Birmingham's always had trouble with that. It's still that way.
The cost of stuff, right? I mean, I bought a pretzel, 3 bottles of sodas, 2 beers,
$300,
popcorn, and a parchment and a pear tree. You know what I'm saying? I literally almost had to give my son up for adoption.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was one of those things.
Son, I hope you enjoyed the game. Here's your new family now.
Right.
I'm out of money.
I'm going to come home like, babe, what happened to Marshall? See, what happened was he wanted some popcorn. I said, either you come home with us or you get some popcorn.
And he chose popcorn.
So he's living it up with a new family
It's
now.
crazy, man. But I don't know. The older I get, the less I like crowds. I don't even go to my own team's football games anymore. I don't know. It's just maybe I could sit and watch a baseball game for 3 hours back in the day. Back in the 90s, especially when the Braves were going worst to first. But I don't know if you could tie me down and make me sit in front of a television and watch a baseball game for 3 hours or almost any sport. I even checked out on the Alabama game the other night, and it was a great game. By the way, congratulations to Alabama. Jessica was here, there, whether to watch it, and she's the Bama fan. So, you know, they were down, 17 in the open. It looked like it was just going to be ugly, and then boom, what a comeback. What a history-making game. But, man, it was late. It was like – and I fell asleep too, but we woke up and saw the end. It was, 10:30 before that game was over? And it started at, 7 or something. It's just like that nowadays, but maybe we're just all becoming less – our attention span's clearly shorter because of constant, internet and social media. But I guess the bigger story I was talking about is it worth all – there has always been an argument as to whether taxpayer money should be used to prop up these multi-million-dollar franchises to keep them in your town because some people consider it infrastructure because the stadium can be used for a lot of other things. But in some cases, it's not. We don't have giant arena concerts like we used to have because music is is kind of broken itself up into a lot of niche pieces nowadays, and there are a few big acts that could do stadiums nowadays, and it's just not the same. And I think the prestige is starting to come off some of these sports, and taxpayers are going to have a decision to make as they get into these bidding wars, these multi-billion-dollar stadiums. I'm not sure it's wise anymore. If I'm some of these cities, I'm like, if you want to go, go. It's nice having you here.
Yeah.
I think Wisconsin will be the last place in the world that'll let their stadium move. Lambeau Field will be there till the end of the NFL.
Well, they did it smartly because it's not like a big corporation. Yes, they might have like some big donors, but they really gave it back to the people.
The fans own the team.
Right. And I think
And
that's
the
what's so
field's
different.
small, and it's outside, and it's cold, and it's their identity, and they love it. And to change it would just wreck it. Just like, to me, it's like Fenway at Boston. You cannot have the Red Sox play in a modern stadium. They got to play in that old stadium.
I mean, you think about the Chicago Cubs, right? They could have spent millions of dollars to build a new stadium somewhere in the outskirts of Chicago, but they kept it there. It's in a sprawling city, kind of in the heart or the north side of Chicago, and it's like it still has that old school feel. And I think a lot of these teams, I don't understand why they always want to get a new stadium. Why don't they just upgrade the ones that they're already in?
It's a
to modernize
constant push. Now, look, I'll admit what they did in Arlington with the Dallas stuff is pretty awesome. They've got the Dallas Cowboy Stadium and the Rangers next to each other and all this entertainment stuff in between, because they got all that land out there. They can do that in Texas.
Now, I was there when they were building the stadium.
Yeah.
Like, I worked in Dallas, and the old Dallas Stadium was an iconic, even though it still wasn't in Dallas, it was in Irving, Texas.
Yep.
You know, the same area where the Cowboys, practice field was. But it was still like this thing, right? It was like this beauty. It was just like historic. They won championships there. Now they got this new big multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar
Well, it's fancy.
stadium with a jumbotron that's as big and wide as this building, and they had won nothing. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You spend all this
That's a
money
good
and you're
point.
losing.
They got no championships to show for it.
At least
Crazy
win
stuff.
something. Win a playoff. Make it to the playoff. Get out of the first round. Something.
When I went to that game, they had a gift shop open. This was an Auburn game. They opened the season out there years ago, and so I went. My son was living in Dallas, and so I'm in the gift shop for the Dallas. I'm not even a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I couldn't help it. I had to buy something from the stadium, so I bought this big old blue hat, AJ, with a giant Cowboys star on the front of it. I hadn't worn that thing in public one damn time.
You was embarrassed.
I mean, one, it's too tall. It looks like a top hat. But I'm just not a fan. Why'd I buy that hat? Anybody want a Dallas hat? It's a nice hat. It's a brand new hat. I've never worn it. I do that all the time.
Oh.
I'm like, when in Rome, I got to buy something while I'm here. And it's a keepsake, I guess.
Right. And I mean, yes, it is. It's really nice. And the way they got all that stuff lined up in Arlington, you got Six Flags there. You got the Texas Rangers play out there. The really only two teams that actually play in Dallas is the Stars and the Mavericks.
They still play in town.
They play in
Basketball's
downtown
different.
not Birmingham, downtown Dallas.
Yeah, basketball's a little different, I think. Smaller venues. You can always play them in town. But these stadium wars are something to watch.
It is.
But cities do it. They bend over backwards and try to keep these folks in town. And Birmingham has missed off on some opportunities to try to lure a team, mainly because of infrastructure, not having we used to think we had to have a dome stadium. You remember Larry Langford in a dome?
Yeah.
The Larry Dome, he wanted to build a dome stadium. And I still don't think we're big enough and would have gotten any kind of franchise. But we may be lucky that we didn't, because think about it now. Had we done that 20 years ago, built some little Larry Dome, maybe lured an NBA team, do you really think the city of Birmingham could pony up money to compete, to keep it here? Because they're always pressuring to snatch it away in all of these cities, even storied franchises.
Yeah.
Every other day they're looking at the city going, looks nicer over there in suburban areas.
Yeah, but they also got to think, too, it's about the support from the city. You talk about infrastructure, but also people attending these games. We got a G League here, the Birmingham Squadron, which is an offshoot of, the Pelicans, which is an actual NBA franchise in New Orleans. You look at some of the games and, we got these teams here, and nobody really goes out and support. Now they'll go out for the Alabama games.
Part of that, I had no idea. I just don't keep up with the NBA. I had no idea we had a G League.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If I wanted to admit something else, and I feel almost as white as Brett Baer right now. Have you seen Brett Baer rapping?
I did.
We're going to play that for you later. I don't even know what G League means. The guys down the hall at Jocks just all cried. They're embarrassed that I work in the same building with them. I don't even care. I'm that out of date. I'm done. Crocker Moving Services bringing you the show tonight. Sometimes you just got to move. Maybe it's some big stuff. Maybe, you just want to move some furniture in and out of your house, and it's just too much for you. You're not going anywhere. You're not moving across the country. Well, they've managed to, all these years, be able to scale their services at Crawford down to what you need. The minimum is 2 hours. It's not worth it for them to pull out of the parking lot with their trucks and crew. You got to pay for the first 2 hours. But generally, every time I booked them, they've never gone over 2 hours. That you can call them and they'll estimate that furniture, and they're so good at it. So you don't really have to worry about them running the clock or overbilling you. They're just going to work hard, be efficient as they can, move to the next customer. That scalable service is really helpful. If you got a business or a home, you just got some heavy stuff that needs to go over there or somewhere out of here, they'll help you with it at Crocker. Crocker Moving Services. The weird stuff like pianos, pool tables, gun safes, all these heavy, weird things that are hard to move. Let them handle it. They're the pros. They know what they're doing. Eric's a great guy and a true patriot. CrockerMovingServices.com, CrockerMovingServices.com. You know, it's become a Christmas tradition here on the show for me to remind you that the word Noel spelled backwards is Leon. I always do that because I had an Uncle Leon that reminded us of that every Christmas, and I love my Uncle Leon. So I also do that now on the show, just for all you Leons out there that are aware of this fact.
Right.
People should know Noel spelled backwards for some reason.
It's Leon.
Leon.
Mm.
Yep.
So you know that song was about me, right? But he couldn't really just say Leon.
He would tell me that every Christmas, and I'm like, every time I hear that song, I think about my Uncle Leon, so it worked.
See, that's called marketing. It's called
That's
branding.
right. He was ahead of his time. The Knowles Group, a guy who knew my Uncle Leon's Danny Knowles. He grew up with me in our little small town. We're the same age, and boy, it just seems like if I could get in a hot tub time machine and go back and see how goofy we were back then, but how innocent the times were back then, it'd be something to do. But Danny went off into financial services after serving in the military and has built an incredible practice. He trained at some of the biggest firms in this country, firms you would know and would have heard of at the highest levels. But at some point, he was like, I've got enough of the corporate grind. I want to do things on my own. I want to treat people the way I want to treat them. And he just left all that and moved back to Alabama and started his own shop. And with all that wealth of knowledge, he helps you with your wealth for your placement, your long-term, short-term strategies. Some of you are a little more high risk because you got to get moving. You want to get some quick growth. Some of you are protective because you're at the other end and you just want a better paycheck from your money, but you don't want to lose it and put it at risk. They've got strategies for all that. It's good to have smart people that know this stuff without their emotions being involved based on real advice. It's good to have them guiding you. It's theknowlesgroup.com, theknowlesgroup.com. Y'all reach out to Danny and his team. Listen to their show on the weekends, too, theknowlesgroup.com. Well, I was going to play Brett Baer rapping at a Christmas party. And then I decided, you know what? My gift to the people today will be to not play that. Y'all don't need to hear that.
I mean, it's kind of like a thing for him. He does that a lot,
It's
surprisingly.
terrible. I think it's the end of rap. At some point, all genres dies. Rap's been on the decline, and Brett Baer might have killed it.
Yeah.
By getting involved, he should have stayed away.
Mm.
And it's not because of his race. He just cannot rap. It's his lack of talent and quirky personality, and I'm not going to do that to the audience. But we've got a breaking story. Apparently, there's a new Epstein suicide video floating around online that they claim DOJ just put out. What is this? Let's talk about it on the other side. What is this? Did you see it, AJ? What
looking at it now.
is this? What is this?